There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view, but when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Good evening and welcome to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Welcome to July, Tim. It's another July 4th weekend coming up here on us relatively quickly.
I'm going to see how many digits I can blow off this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah.
Kids, don't try that at home. Leave it to the morons on the radio show.
Yeah.
4th of July weekend. Please be safe on the 4th of July. We'd love to have you guys back with us again next weekend with all of your eyes, fingers, hands, tongue, nose, everything that you came in with this week. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, this is Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. We're here live with you every Sunday night from 10 to midnight Central Time. We explore the world of the paranormal, just about every facet from UFOs, Bigfoot, El Chupacabra, although we haven't covered El Chupacabra yet.
Not a lot, no.
We have to get somebody on the show that can actually shed a little light on this creepy little creature, so we're going to be working on that for the next couple of weeks. We've got some amazing stuff in the works. You know, Tim, one of the guests that I've just been alerted to I'm trying to get on is a woman.
Congratulations.
Yes. She claims to be the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. And she has a doctor, or I can't remember if it's a doctor or a psychiatrist, but claims that they believe her. Really? Yes. So we're going to have this person on our show, find out a little bit more about reincarnation and what Miss Monroe might have to tell us. We've just got some interesting stuff coming up. Next week, we're going to be talking to Lori from Rolling Hills Sanitarium. And as those of you that have attended our events in the past know, we try to do events where we can help give back to the paranormal community. We just came back from Eastern State, and I want to thank everybody that joined us out there for the Eastern State Penitentiary lockdown. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Tim?
Sure.
I always ask him a question when he's as far away from the mic as I can possibly get him. Yeah, we had a great time out at Eastern State. We got to meet 220 really great people. And then like 10 really crappy ones. No, they were all great.
I love them the best.
Yeah, we got to hang out. Tim, I think, was up till 4:30 in the morning every night. Five eating Philly cheesesteaks at some new hole in the ground he found in Philadelphia.
No hole in the ground.
Oh, was it a shiny place?
No. There's nothing shiny in Philadelphia.
Nothing. You are correct.
No, Pat's the original steaks, or where the original Philly cheesesteak was created. Also, where one of the scenes from the original Rocky was shot. They have a little plaque commemorating it.
Rocky ate corned beef here?
No, there's no corned beef. It's either provolone wit, American wit, or whiz wit. I've learned how to order.
I feel dirty listening to you talk like that.
And then there's Gino's Kitty Corner right across the street from
And they're
Pat's.
open all night or what?
Yeah, 24 hours.
Wow.
You can impact your colon 24 hours a day with cheesesteaks.
Yes, and Tim did. Trust me, he packed it thick.
It took one of those Auric special vacuum cleaners.
Oh God, we've heard enough. Yeah. Anyway, but Eastern State was a lot of fun. I had a lot of chance to meet some great people. Did some really fun ghost hunting at Eastern State, and we had people that witnessed. What was it, Tim? We had shadow people whispering in the halls. A lot of fun stuff going on, so, really good time. But we did a charity auction for the Eastern State Restoration Fund, because as many of you know, going to these paranormal locations, a lot of them are dilapidated, falling apart. I mean, that's part of the charm, the creepiness factor of it. But in order to keep these places and these historic places up, they depend on the money that you donate and will be a part of. Rolling Hills Sanitarium is located in upstate New York. It's, believe between Rochester and Buffalo in that area. And we're going to have Lori on from Rolling Hills next week. Talk about the history of Rolling Hills, the hauntings of Rolling Hills, and how you can help Rolling Hills. They're in a lot of financial trouble. And if Lori loses Rolling Hills Sanitarium, The sad part is that they will then tear it down to build up a parking lot or something really meaningful like another Starbucks. So we got to do what we can to save Rolling Hill Sanitarium so that paranormal investigators around the world have a great place to go check out. So we're going to have her on the show next week to talk about all the cool stuff that's been going on there. Got a lot of great information. We also have a gentleman, and gosh, I apologize, my mind is completely blank here. I'll try to pull up his name as I'm looking through my emails. But we also have another guest next week who will be with us, and he is actually a cardiologist, a doctor, scientist, and he is Jeff Dwyer. That's his name, Jeff Dwyer. And he has written a number of books about the paranormal, especially in California. And he's got a new one about the wine country coming out soon, too. But we're going to be talking to Jeff Dwyer about the ghosts of California. And that should be really exciting. And then we are going to be doing, just to go back to the thing we were mentioning now with raising money for these haunted locations, we are doing the Waverly Hills event. The event is nearly sold out. I think we're down to our last 25 tickets for the event. So if you have been sitting on the fence post about whether or not to go to this, it's going to be a great event. Only 100 people will be allowed to attend. Out of those 100 people, we get to ghost hunt 2 nights. Most of the events, you get to ghost hunt one night. We split up the groups over 2 nights. So one group goes one night, one group goes the other. This time, we're all ghost hunting for 2 nights. We're going to be sharing evidence. We're going to be reviewing evidence with the experts. So hopefully we can find some cool stuff. And we get to hang out at Waverly even during the day where we're going to hold our event. So this is going to be an amazing event, and we're going to be doing an auction there so that we can help restore and save Waverly Hills. So make sure that you come out. And if you'd ever like to make a donation to any of these places, you certainly can. You can contact me, and I can put you in touch with the right people. Also, we're always looking for really cool items for the auction. If you have autographed pictures, cool artwork, anything really unique that you'd like to offer up for auction. We had a woman that made these beautiful gemstone earrings and bracelets that she brought with to the Eastern State, and each stone, was for strength or serenity. No, not for the medium psychic that we're about to have on the show, Serenity, but for wisdom, protection. So all of these different jewels meant something. It was really great. We did a lot of money. I want to thank everybody that attended Eastern State. We raised $8,880 for Eastern State Penitentiary's Restoration Fund. They were extremely pleased with it. As a matter of fact, they're going to be putting up an article about Darkness Radio and the event that we held there with TAPS. So please join us and take a look at that. I think it's going to be really a cool little article. But we've got other events, and again, you can check out those events by going to darknessevents.com. That's darknessevents.com. Click on any one of the links. Currently, we have Waverly Hills and the Queen Mary up. We are working on trying to do a couple other trips, so bear with us as we get them up, but I can only guarantee you that we're going to be doing Waverly and the Queen Mary. We are going to start off now with our next guest, and I want to get into that, but I wanted to make those first initial announcements. And again, Tim, any thanks you want to give to the people? First of all, we want to thank all of the great speakers we had. Adam Bly, John Zaffis, Lloyd Auerbach, Jason and Grant, and Steve from Ghost Hunters, and Tim's personal favorite, Mr. Mike Dion, who came in and filled in for Steve Saturday night because Steve had to head off for filming. So Mike Dion from TAPS came out there. We had Rosemary Ellen Guiley, the Queen of the Paranormal, was there. We've got Chip Coffee and the lovely Tiffany Johnson, who was slated to be our second guest tonight, but she unfortunately came down with a bad cold. She will not be here, but we will have psychic, clairvoyant, medium Heather Woodward on in the second hour. I'm trying to think here. Chad Kalick, of course, Tim. Who else am I forgetting? I feel like I've left somebody out of the mix. Oh, of course, Linda Zimmerman. Now, she put on a hell of a talk. We got really good response on her, didn't we, Tim? A lot of people were really into the talk she did about the ghosts of the East Coast. So, just thanks to all the speakers and thanks to everybody that attended the event. And hopefully we're going to be working with our next guest here at an event in Texas as soon as we can get out that way and put together an event. So let's welcome to the Darkness on the Edge of Town our next guest, the lovely and talented Miss Serenity Moore. Good evening, Serenity.
Hello, Dave. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Thanks a lot for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Now, I wanted to talk to you on a couple of different topics. Well, first of all, you're a psychic and a medium, correct?
Correct.
You also do paranormal investigations.
That's
and according to your bio, you've been doing readings for almost 30 years. Wow, so you came out like at the age of 2 and started doing readings?
I did.
Wow, that is great. Very impressive.
I know.
And you've done it from everyday people to celebrities, you said. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Any celebrities you can leak to us who you've done readings for, Serenity?
I don't know if I should now.
Well, we won't tell anybody. Come on.
Yeah, you will. Okay, somebody, maybe if they're not listening right now.
Sure, they're not.
Okay, somebody, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Somebody in the movie Speed.
Somebody in the movie Speed.
Mm-hmm.
So is it one of the main three? You don't have to tell us who, but it would either be Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves, or Dennis Hopper. Would it be one of those three?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. Very cool. And have you done readings for that person more than once?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And it says that for the last 10 years, though, what you've really enjoyed doing the most, well, I guess this is kind of a mixed blessing, right? You enjoy doing it most, but it's, I guess, enjoy isn't the right word. As you say, it's the most rewarding work that you've done with your abilities. But for the last 10 years, you've been called on by the police and FBI to help in missing person cases, correct?
Oh, correct.
Okay. And you're also in the middle of writing a book about your experiences. I would like to ask you a little bit about that. Now, how did you get involved with the FBI and the local police department? Did they come seeking you? Did you go to them offering help?
Actually, they came seeking me.
Okay.
And it was through a friend and they were up in Park City where the Winter Olympics were.
Right.
And they were talking about a cold case. And a friend of mine just happened to say, oh, I know this psychic medium that would probably help. And it was a DA, and he called, and that's how I got started.
Now, when you're called in on a case, I know this is kind of a crazy business. This isn't like, punching out dies or building cars, something that you can rely on to be the same every day.
Right.
How often are you able to lead them to either the person or the body, or at least get them a strong clue to where to look for these things, and it ends up working out for them?
The cases I've worked on, they've all pretty much came up. I've had good success with it.
Okay.
As being a tool and helping the police and the FBI in a direction of where a body is, or
Sure.
who actually committed the crime.
Now, do you get called in to find the body most of the time, or the person, or do you get called in to try to help find who did the crime?
Both.
A little bit of both?
So yes.
Okay.
Both.
All right, Tim, I'm sorry, my producer's signaling me a little bit. If I can get you to speak up just a notch,
I'm
Serenity,
sorry.
you're very quiet, so make sure you
always am.
get your mouth right up by the phone and talk to me. It'll all be
Yes,
good. I promise
okay.
I won't let anybody beat you up here. We're going to take care
I
of you.
promise. Well, I've got a tiny voice anyway, so I can't help it. But I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
I'll scream. I promise.
All right, good deal. That's what we like to hear. Screaming women on our radio show. That's always good for listenership, isn't it, Tim?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you started doing the cases. Now, I've got to assume if they call you on a child case, that's got to be the hardest one for you to have to work on, huh?
And they're mostly the children cases that I get called on.
Oh, okay.
It's usually when somebody goes missing, I'll get called. And thankfully, a lot of them are taken by neighbors or friends, or father, mother, and and nothing's wrong.
Right.
But the ones that I do get called on, they are hard.
Now, can you help us with this, Serenity? What I have a hard time understanding, not calling you out at all, understand that. I'm not trying to get you into battle. What I want to understand and what I can't gather is when you're doing this, now you're familiar with what remote viewing is, right?
Right.
Are you, in sense, doing a remote viewing when you're trying to tune into these people?
I am, in a sense, in my head. I'm not writing things down. It's just like coming to me in my head, the direction.
Okay.
Where I'm going and where I'm supposed to go, and the color of the car or the truck, whatever it may be.
Sure.
And I just get places in my head where I'm supposed to, and I start walking. I'll literally start walking to these places.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then sometimes if they're farther away, of course, I'll see things, and I'll, okay, drive here, and I'll just tell them where to drive me. And so it's like in my head where I'm supposed to go.
Now, are you seeing images? Are you hearing a voice? Are you seeing words? What exactly comes to you?
I'm actually seeing images of certain places.
Do you feel like you're looking through the eyes of the victim or the killer while you're doing this? Or abductor?
Actually, I feel like I'm looking through the eyes of the victim.
Okay. All right.
and they're showing me things of where I'm turning, and there's a cattle guard and different, just different signs.
Now, what do they do? I don't mean to cut you short, but I mean, do you get the calls with the guy stuffed in the trunk? How are you getting through? How is he visualizing where he's at then?
Okay, I've never had a call like that.
Okay, good. Well, I didn't know. Sometimes if you're trying to locate a body, I didn't know if they've got Junior's body tucked in the trunk in a tarp. Are you seeing through his eyes then, or how are you sensing that?
If I ever had done that, I've never actually had some, but I'm sure that the spirit itself would come to me and help me, or my guides would help me.
Okay. All right. Boy, I don't envy that. I mean, that we all think it'd be cool to have the psychic abilities. Serenity, so you know what kind of guy I'm working with here. My buddy's eating chicken, and it's in the shape of the Millennium Falcon, and he's over here blasting away at your microphone. So this is the... See, now, as a psychic, you should have told me he was about to do that so I could prepare myself for this.
Exactly.
Millennium Chicken. Oh,
Millennium Chicken!
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, good God. Yes. So now you've been doing these cases. This is horrible. We're talking about horrible murder cases, things like that. We're laughing about Millennium Chicken. But when you're doing this, do you ever... Are you, in sense, taking on any of the empathetic? I mean, do you feel their fear?
Oh, definitely. I start crying a lot of times. I'll have to stop.
Well, are you crying because of the violent act that you saw, or are you crying because you're actually feeling the pain as though you were the person being injured?
It depends. Sometimes I do feel the pain of the person being injured, and sometimes I feel just the pain of the whole incident.
Okay.
And the last case I was working on, one of the FBI guys looked at me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're sunburned." And I wasn't sunburned. My face had just gone totally red because I was feeling exactly everything, and it just rushed up on me. And so they had to get me water so I could sit down a while and collect myself. I had to stop for a while.
Wow, so it actually will start to physically change you as well then?
As well, yes.
All right. Well, that's strange. I've
never had that happen before. That's the first time that's ever happened.
What do you think is causing that? I mean, is it,
I think it's just the energy. I think it's just the energy because at that time, I was basically standing on her grave where we found her.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the energy.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So that residual energy really hits you then, too, huh?
Very much, yes.
Now, was the spirit there telling you? I mean, we watch Hollywood shows, right? We watch Medium, we watch Ghost Whisperer, and the spirits come to you and say, "This is where I am," or "This is this." Is that what's happening to you, or do you just get drawn to their energy, or what?
It's the energy that's drawing me there. It's just why I'm feeling the energy. So no spirit is jumping up in front of me and saying, "This is where I'm at." You know? It's not Hollywood. It's just the energy and where they're pulling me to. And
now, the energy, is it just like a magnetic pull you feel, or are you seeing some kind of light, some kind of aura coming from those areas? How does that work?
No, it feels like a magnetic pull.
Okay.
It does. It really does. It feels like I'm just being pulled. My stomach is just coming from my stomach, and I'm being pulled right there to this spot. And then, I hate to say, sometimes I get, like a little bit sick to my stomach, when I'm right on top of places, or where I need to be.
Well, what I'm curious about is when you're doing this, have you ever had such a strong feeling, brought to a place of huge magnetic pull, and then you find out that it's not, you say, "This is where the body is. This is where the body's buried," or this is where the murder occurred, and you find out it had nothing to do with it there. Can you explain it to us a little bit? Has that ever happened to you? And if so, what do you think caused that to happen?
I've never had that experience. In one experience, I had a really strong magnetic pull, but a body was found out that that's where the crime took place. And then we found her body in another place.
So you picked up on, but I mean, have you ever really cued in on something strong and it turns out it had nothing to do with that murder?
I haven't.
Okay. Have you ever been investigating one murder only to find the body or remains of another?
I have. Actually, I have.
Okay.
That happened, yes. That happened once. And that was kind of strange because they hadn't told me about the second murder.
Okay.
They were keeping that from me. And I just honed in on it some way and got sidetracked and found this person. And we still haven't found the other one.
Wow. Okay, but you found the one body they didn't tell you about?
Right. The one body they didn't tell me about.
Well, how about, if you're called out to the swamplands or the forest preserve, have you ever been called out there to find, Tim Dennis's body and you find somebody else?
Tim Dennis's body?
But, you find a body, they're calling out to find Joe Smith's body, and you go out there and you find Ben King's body, and that had nothing to do with this murder at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Do the spirits or energy ever pull you to be like, hey, help me while you're here? Here I am.
Yeah, I've never had that before, except just that once. It was, strange, but I've never had that before that said, oh, here, come find me first.
Okay.
I've never had that before.
Well, we're going to take our first break here real quick. We're going to come back for the right after the top of the break, and I promise, folks, I'm getting your emails. We'll have Serenity scream at the top of her lungs for you so we can get you. That's okay, honey. You just got a really quiet voice, so we'll get you to talk up a little bit on the second part. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. We'll be back with more right after this.
Are UFOs real? Does Bigfoot exist? Was Emily Rose really possessed? Who is the next American Idol?
She bangs, oh baby, when she moves, I'm wasted by the way
Thank you.
We try to answer these questions and more each week on The Darkness on the Edge of Town.
For 58 years, Fate has consistently supplied its loyal readership with a broad array of true reports of the strange and unknown. Fate is a factual magazine containing articles by experts in all walks of life, and by others just like you who have something dynamic, significant, and truthful to say. Keep up with the latest on angels and miracles, psychic phenomena, ghosts, UFOs, archaeological hotspots, alternative science, and much, much more. To receive your free Fate magazine, call now at 1-800-728-2730 or visit our website at www.fatemag.com. That's 1-800-728-2730 or www.fatemag.com. What are you waiting for? Your fate awaits.
Are you tired of reading about what couple in Hollywood is breaking up or divorcing? Have you ever wondered where you can find the news that covers the subjects that you are really interested in? I would like to invite you to visit supernaturalnews.com. Supernatural News uses the latest internet technology to search for the topics we know you will be interested in reading. News of the latest Bigfoot, UFO, or Loch Ness Monster sightings. Read about the latest conspiracy theories and urban legends. Supernatural News, where belief and reality merge.
They're hardly beautiful and barely average. In fact, when they were both born, the doctor slapped their moms instead of them.
I will slap you so hard you end up in the Ming Dynasty.
Welcome back to The Darkness on the Edge of Town with Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the show. You're listening to Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio. We're here with you live every Sunday night from 10 to midnight. I'm Dave, your host. Along with me, my lovable and affable co-host and producer, Tim Dennis. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening, David.
Welcome back as we're starting the second segment of tonight's show. And for those of you that were having problems linking to the show and hearing us for the first half, we apologize. We're having some IP difficulties. Well, I don't have to. That's a good one, isn't it? I'm not having difficult peeing. IP is the address that you type in.
IP freely.
Yes, so that's what I hear about you. But we had some IP difficulties, and now we've got it fixed. We're back running on the air, and we've got the talented Miss Serenity Moore, who is a psychic and medium and a paranormal investigator. She's on the line with us, and she's promised to get out the bullhorn and scream loud for us for the next segment. She's got a very quiet voice, so we're going to get her to pump it up. We were talking to her in the first part of the show about the work that she's done with the FBI and local police. Has there been any major cases that you've ever been called in on for this that you can talk about, or is this stuff all strictly confidential?
I was called in. I don't know if you guys heard about this, the Lori hacking case.
Yeah, I think, is it Hocking?
No, Hacki.
Oh, HAC. Okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah, there was another name like this. Isn't there somebody hacking that was just killed not too long ago out this way, Tim?
No.
Thanks for the cover. All right. So yeah, we may have. I blanking on the name right now, but it does sound familiar. So go ahead and hit me with that. At what point did they call you in on this?
About the middle, I think. They
Okay.
were getting frustrated. I'm sorry, now I'm getting a cold. See, Tiffany did this to me.
Oh, nice. A psychic cold. Do you see how these
I know,
things get
psychic
passed?
cold.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's what it is.
So they called you in the middle when they were kind of getting frustrated?
They were getting frustrated because, well, the husband had done it and was leading the police all over the place, telling that this is where the body was, and he had confessed, and it was clear across town, and that's where I kind of sensed it. So we kind of started looking there, and it took days.
Okay.
They found her. So.
Wow. All right. Now, how old were you when you actually realized that you had these abilities?
I was 4.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that everybody else around me did. Because I started telling my mom, "Oh, you're pregnant, Mom, and you're gonna have a baby," and just things like somebody's gonna.
Was that psychic or just really thin walls between your room and Mom's bedroom? Ika, Mom, are you pregnant?
Could have been both.
Yes, okay.
But I didn't know who was calling, who was coming over, things like that. I'd say that I really never knew was strange.
Now, did you used to go shake the presents and know what was in them on Christmas morning?
No. I was pretty good.
What the hell kind of psychic are you?
I know.
Look, isn't it sad when they have all these powers and don't use them for good, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey,
I know, I'm just messing with it. So, you started realizing this at an early age. Were you having psychic premonitions at that time, or were you also having mediumistic deals where spirits of those that had crossed over were communicating with you?
I started having 3 spirits came to me for probably about a couple of years, and I didn't think anything was wrong with that. I thought that was normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know who they were, but they would talk to me, and those are the only spirits I've ever really actually seen and talked to right there, and when they told me that it wasn't normal, then that's kind of when it freaked me out. I got scared, and then at that early age, when I was trying to be a kid, I kind of pushed it away. I was really afraid of it. And then my grandparents and my 2 grandmothers, who were also psychic mediums, were trying to help me through this, and I was still pushing it away. But I was still having precognitive dreams about things, and I was blocking them. I was trying to block them until I got to my teenage years and couldn't anymore.
Wow. All right. Now, the spirits that were coming to you, were they giving you a specific message at all, and you just weren't getting it at the time, or?
Yeah, they were, and I was afraid of them.
Sure.
So it was, to me, I felt like it was like the boogeyman,
Right.
And didn't know what to think of it. And when I finally decided to talk about it, it was, then I really, when they looked at their eyes, their expressions, that's what scared me the most, I think, and then it was.
Now, did they appear to you as they had in life, or were they appearing to you as they appeared after their death?
They appeared to me almost in life form, but I could tell that they weren't human, solid.
Right. I guess maybe I'm not asking the right question here. Were they, vital and healthy-looking spirits, or were they, with the head wound and?
Oh no, they looked perfectly normal.
Okay.
Perfectly normal.
All right. So it wasn't like you were seeing them as they looked after they died. Okay, like in the movie The Sixth Sense, the spirits that come up with the bloody head or the foamy mouth or anything weird like that.
I'm glad I've never seen that.
Well, that's good. Bloody heads and foamy mouths are nothing to laugh about, Serenity. Come on.
No, it's not. No, I would have been really freaked out then.
Yeah, no doubt. So when did you start realizing that you could communicate back with the spirits?
When I was, 18, 19. That's when I really honed in and decided this is what I've got to do, and help people. And so pretty soon I was getting calls from friends and neighbors and everybody, and going to help them.
What is the? I guess it's something I've always been curious about, and Tim and I have joked around about it in the past with mediums. When you have a spirit that comes to you and is trying to pass on a message, you're over at your friend Sue's house, and all of a sudden this old man's making, "Ooh, I want you to tell her I love her, and where the will is." And then he does all this, and then you go, "Oh, your grandpa's here, and he wants me to tell you where the will is." And she's like, "My grandpa's not dead." I mean, do you ever have spirits that are just kind of annoying little pests who try to pretend they're somebody that they're not?
Yes, but that's why when I do a reading like that, I do a prayer and a protection, and also have my guides kind of keep away the earthbound spirits that are trying to trick me, and so the spirits that do come through are really the spirits are really related to them.
Well, now, what's the reason do you feel that some of these earthbound spirits are there to trick you? Now, do you think that they're real earthbound spirits, or are they demons screwing with you?
I feel that they're earthbound spirits. That's the impression I get.
Okay.
I don't feel like they're demons. I feel like they're earthbound spirits just trying to play tricks on me.
All right, so just as in life, as in death, right? If they're kind of a pain in the ass jerk in the dead world, they are alive again, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so Tim's giving me a perplexed look. Do we have a question in the
No.
room? People are just being strange in the chat room. Is that what you're giving me to look for?
A little bit.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's okay.
A little bit. Okay, who's not strange? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Hey now.
They're all...
Hey now.
That's
Hey,
right.
hey, now.
Baby, we're all crazy now.
All crazy.
Now, when you're... I see, that's what... It's just so strange to me. I mean, I understand why spirits would come to you to look for help. Why would... I guess if, like I said, if they're kind of a prankster and a jerk ass in life, they're going to be like that in death and just screw with you. But do you go with the initial gut feeling when you're doing a reading? Do you say something that sounds totally obscure? Like if all of a sudden this old man is showing you a picture of a, 6'1" fat bald guy in a ducky pajamas, would you bring that up?
Like Dave?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
like
I mean, would you?
Dave.
I mean, it's something so obscure like that. Would you ever be like, who do you know that's bald and fat and wears duck pajamas? Would that's do you bring that stuff up, or do you ever get embarrassed and be afraid to ask?
No, I am pretty blunt with what I say. I go with my gut feeling and just throw it out there. I do.
Do you get uncomfortable readings too, where Daddy's coming through and Daddy maybe did a lot of naughty things in life?
Yes, I get a lot of strange ones like that too.
How do you know what to tell the client and what not to tell them? Or do you just tell them, I'm just going to lay everything out?
Well, I ask them at first if they want to know everything, and if they do, then I go for it. But if they want specific things, then I'll just tell them specific things of what they want to know.
Okay. So you can tune out some of the messages.
Right.
Or not tune them out, but just ignore giving them to them.
Yes.
If they come through to you, Serenity, and they come through and they say, Tim, you're going to choke on chicken tonight.
Hey now.
No, I said choke on chicken.
I don't see
Just for clarification.
I do need to relax after the show.
Shut up.
that.
He's eating his Millennium chicken here, so I thought I'd bring it up. But if you get that, Grandpa comes through and says, "Hey, Tim's gonna choke on a piece of chicken tonight," do you feel obliged to tell, "Hey, stay away from the chicken"?
Yeah, Tim, stay away from the chicken.
Why is my grandpa watching me choke on chicken? That's what I want to know.
This
no,
is why
there
they
we
call
go.
us barely above a
Yeah,
college radio
exactly.
show. Oh my! So, but I mean, do you feel obliged when somebody's gonna die to tell them or warn them?
Well, only if I feel. I don't feel like I never feel like, oh, somebody's going to die, so I better tell them. I feel, if I feel, I usually get people who want to know, or if I feel, if I'm giving a reading, if I feel like a parent or a child needs attention, to go to the doctor, get checked out, things like that.
All right. Are you specific and say, I'm getting something in like the chest area. You just might want to go get it checked out.
Yes, exactly.
All right, but you don't say, "Oh Lordy, baby,
Yeah.
you're coming up for a heart attack.
Yeah.
Get your ass into the doctor."
Yeah,
Okay, so that doesn't come through. I mean, do the loved one spirits come through to you and tell you things like that though?
yes, they do come and tell me, certain things. Well, about, like, oh, watch, Aunt Gladys's arthritis or something like that, or,
Sure.
or diabetes or something like that. They'll, send me messages like that.
No. Okay, so you don't necessarily feel obliged to tell them, but you'll like kind of hint that they should go get something looked at.
Right.
What if Leisure Suit Larry walks in and wants a reading? You're doing a reading for him, and Grandpa comes through, but Grandpa tells you this man is molesting his child or molesting a neighbor. Do you feel obliged to call in the police? Have you ever had that happen in the first place?
I've never had that happen. And
Okay.
it just scared me, because what if that happens?
Oh, see, I've opened the door now. Here you go.
You have.
Well, I'm just surprised because you would think, there are a lot of people out there doing really bad stuff.
There are.
You know?
I'm glad that most of my clients, though, are really good people, so that never happens. But I don't know what I'd do, but if I really felt that, since I don't have proof, though.
Right, but that's where I'm coming in. As a psychic and a medium, then, do you feel it's your job to say you might want to check on this person? You might want to do this? Or how do you... See, that's what I would have a problem with, moral justification for myself of what do I do when I find out something potentially explosive?
I think if I really knew it, and if Grandpa or somebody came in from the other side and said something, I might want to call some of my friends and have them do like a check on them or something.
Okay.
I would feel
She's got friends that can do checks on people, Tim.
I have friends like that, too.
I need you to do a check on Tim Dennis. Make it quiet. No, how about this, though? When you're doing this is the other one. And these are just kind of strange questions I've had thrown at me from other guests that we've had on that had psychic and mediumistic abilities, and I'm just trying to remember them as they go through, because to me they're kind of interesting. They're more of the dark and macabre questions, and I hope you don't mind answering them. I'm just curious, as you're doing this, is such a fascinating and strange job. Have you ever been in a room with, say, the police and the husband of the victim and started doing a reading, and the spirit comes through and says he did it?
I haven't, but I've been in the visiting center in the prison where a spirit has come to me and said that's the one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how does that, then do you just report that to the police? And how do they use that legally in a case then to...
They don't. They have to have circumstantial evidence. They have to have the evidence. And in this case, they had the evidence, and I sat back quiet. I was very quiet in court. Didn't say a word.
Good
but
girl.
They had the evidence, and they looked at him more thoroughly once I told them that.
Okay.
And
so it just
wasn't
opened it up for a little bit deeper probe to check for that.
Exactly.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, it's. Do you ever wish, Serenity, that you didn't have these abilities?
I hate to say this. Sometimes.
Well, there's no shame in that. That's. I'm sure by now you've perfected the ability to turn it on and off, right?
Yes, right, exactly.
So, it's got to be to the point where you're, I can't fathom this, and I don't know, I'm, looking at the people in the chat room here, and I don't know what their thoughts are on this, but to have this kind of ability, it would absolutely freak me out that you're having these thoughts, having these spirits come to you. Are you kind of like a beacon of light? Are you like a lighthouse to spirits? They realize, holy crap, she can see us, and then they come pouring over to you?
In a sense.
Or can you walk past them and have them not realize that that they're there?
I can do that too.
Because I know, our good friend Jennifer Love Hewitt on Ghost Whisperer, she can just kind of try to walk through and not look at ghosts, and it seems like they're okay. But it's the minute she kind of locks eyes with them. Is that the same kind of thing that actually happens for you?
Well, no, because I'm not Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I don't see them like that, all the time. She has them pop up all the time. And I don't see them like that. They usually come just through me, when I'm doing a reading.
Okay. All right, well, I was curious. I just didn't know if, I guess that would have been a better question, is do you see spirits walking around all the time?
No, I don't know, thank goodness.
Well, so then that's pretty much like what you're doing, but you're then opening the door. So you are tuning it out all the other times. If can you open yourself up, do you think, to be able to see them everywhere?
I don't know, and I haven't tried to, because I would probably be afraid, It's enough to just have them talk, to me. but you see them everywhere. That would be kind of scary.
Do you ever run into ones that are threatening to you?
I have. And that's when, investigating, yes, I have. I've been thrown, I can't even talk now. I've had things thrown at me.
Me too, but that's called 2 ex-wives.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, investigating, I had a plunger thrown at me, and somebody wasn't happy with me there.
Was it Jason and Grant from Roto-Rooter throwing the plunger at you?
I think it was Brian.
Ah, that could be it. Dude, plunge. Well, we've got to take our second break for this hour. You're listening to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. We appreciate you being here with us. Make sure to stay with us, because after the top of the hour, we're going to be coming back with a whole nother hour to share with you this evening. We're going to be talking to Heather Woodward. Our guest right now is psychic medium Serenity Moore. If you have any questions, pop into our live chat room, and you can ask Tim or Dave. We're both sitting in the chat room. Feel free to ask us questions there for our guest, or you can email them over to tim@darknessradio.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
It will keep you on the edge of your seat.
I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
I gotta pay.
Just don't get any on the floor. Hurry back. There is more to come from the Darkness on the Edge of Town.
For 58 years, Fate has consistently supplied its loyal readership with a broad array of true reports of the strange and unknown. Fate is a factual magazine containing articles by experts in all walks of life, and by others just like you who have something dynamic, significant, and truthful to say. Keep up with the latest on angels and miracles, psychic phenomena, ghosts, UFOs, archaeological hotspots, alternative science, and much, much more. To receive your free Fate magazine, call now at 1-800-728-2730 or visit our website at www.fatemag.com. That's 1-800-728-2730 or www.fatemag.com. What are you waiting for? Your fate awaits.
If you read Taps Paramag every month, you'll be able to tell the difference between the absurd
Could not go to work because Bigfoot stole my car.
and the creepy. Taps Paramag takes you where few would ever go on purpose. From exclusive interviews with the cast of The Ghost Hunters to the latest trends in technology in the field of the paranormal. To join our journey, order at tapsparamag.com.
Are you tired of reading about what couple in Hollywood is breaking up or divorcing? Have you ever wondered where you can find the news that covers the subjects that you are really interested in? I would like to invite you to visit supernaturalnews.com. Supernatural News uses the latest internet technology to search for the topics we know you will be interested in reading. News of the latest Bigfoot, UFO, or Loch Ness Monster sightings. Read about the latest conspiracy theories and urban legends. Supernatural News, where belief and reality merge.
Try not to fall asleep. We'll only give you nightmares. Welcome back to the Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio. Our guest is Serenity Moore. She's a psychic and a medium. Serenity, before we went to break, we were talking about the abilities that you have and how you're able to turn them off. And Queen Ghost Geek from our chat room would like to know, how do you turn it off? What do you do to turn off the ability?
I go into meditation, and I actually have this little light switch. It's a big light switch, and it's my on and off switch. That's what I call it.
Okay.
And I just turn it on when I need it and off when I don't.
So you really just psychically see that and flip it, and that's the end of it?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Now, one of the other people just texted me, private messaged and said, I bet she's hell on a blind date, huh? You know all about these guys before you even get out on them, or what?
No.
No?
I really don't. I can feel people's energy, though, if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, of course, And,
yeah, but I'm psychic, and I can feel that in 2 minutes on the first date, too.
That's right. That's right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about ghost hunting and using psychic ability during ghost hunting. Now, do you use it like a tool, like an EMF detector, EVPs? I mean, is it like that, or do you turn it off to do an investigation so that you don't taint what's going on during your scientific part of the investigation?
Yeah, most of the time I turn it off while I'm trying to go into a paranormal investigation because I do want to see what I get, for research, so I don't. Sometimes it's hard though because I'll have energies that do come forward, and but I do want the scientific aspect of it too, and that's what I teach my students is to look for the scientific aspect of it, and I'm just starting to use the K2, so I'm excited about that for one thing, and just I guess I want to, it's just like when I take my students in, I want to try to debunk everything before we come to a decision on if it is haunted or not, if the place is haunted or not. But I do try to, when I go in, use the scientific aspect instead of the psychic.
Now, once the science starts kicking in and you're able to start picking things up with your EV or with your EMF detectors or K2 meters, do you then start to tune in a little bit psychically to see if you're actually picking something up or if it's just bad wiring?
I do. I do try to pick something up to see if I am getting something. And if I do feel an energy, if I don't, then I know it's either, copper or wiring or something in there if I'm not feeling, any kind of energy at all.
When you go in, now let's talk about this. We had some people bring it up at the Eastern State event. We've talked about the religious aspects of protection.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do before going into a paranormal investigation to protect yourself?
Okay, that's what I say a little prayer and surround myself in white light, and I have some stones that I carry with me for protection also.
What type of stones do you carry?
I carry an amber stone and tiger's eye and quartz crystal, and I just carry them in with me for protection.
Okay.
And
now, can you tell people a little bit about those stones and what they do?
Well,
or are they more just those are the basic, well-known ones for protection?
Yeah, those are the basic ones for protection for me anyway. And so, I think the crystal quartz is used for, everything. Any kind of awareness or anything. I think it's the strongest one. And about me, I say I'm not really into the stones, but
okay.
don't know too much about the stones.
Well, that's fine. I just didn't know if you knew, I have to have these because these will trap the evil entities or
evil entities or anything like that. But no, I just keep them for my own self. Those are the ones that I feel that protect me. And of course, I call in my my guides and have them protect me too.
I've got an interesting question brought up here by Tink in our chat room. She wants to know about the blue people. Her 3-year-old says come and wake her up every night. And scarily, when they went away for a week, it never appeared until they came home, and the first night they were back, the blue people appeared.
Blue people?
Yeah. Do you have any idea what that could be?
I've never heard of blue people, unless you've seen, like,
Smurfs, they were saying in the chat room.
la, 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 la. Okay, that would be kind of scary, too.
Yes, that would, wouldn't it? But Tim and I have tried. There's no way to creepy out their song. Even if you try to do it really deep and goth sounding, it still sounds happy.
I know it does.
Yes.
I think even Marilyn Manson singing it's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Dun, 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 dun. So you don't know. Does that sound angelic to you? Does that sound...
I'm thinking,
like they're surrounded maybe in like a bluish light, and that's what's casting on them?
Thinking of. I was thinking if they were in a bluish light, maybe so. And she's afraid of them?
I don't know. Tink, if you're in the chat room listening in on this right now, are the people... The blue people frightening your daughter? I don't mean to laugh. I understand that, but I mean, do they are they frightening her, or are they just coming in and waking her up? Are they trying to give her a message?
I know the Blue Man Group is pretty scary. I don't know if that's what she's talking about.
That's right, Tim. They're kind of scary.
How about while we're waiting for an answer on this, and somebody else kind of brought it up, maybe aliens. As a psychic, do you ever sense alien activity?
I have, and that's kind of strange that you brought that up. That, in fact, the other night, I was sitting in my backyard, and I was talking to my girlfriend, and I was looking up at the sky, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty star. It's really bright, really pretty. And then there was another one right behind it. And I thought, oh. And then they started going. I mean, then they just started moving. I mean, like one was following the other really slow and really close. And I'm like, I think I'm seeing something. I said, hurry, go outside, look and see if you can see it. And she didn't see it. She couldn't see it. But as soon as I said that, and as soon as she tried to get out, they were gone. They were gone that fast. So I don't know what to make of it.
Well, she's saying that these little blue things jumping around, they come in and bounce around her room.
Bounce around her room.
And they're about the same size as the little girl's mom, which her mom is a very petite woman as well. She doesn't cry. She doesn't seem to really be afraid of them. They just kind of wake her up and freak her out. Now, does that sound like fairies to you?
Oh, okay. Fairies. Now, I don't...
It's okay. If you don't believe in it, it's okay to give your side of it.
I've never encountered a fairy. I don't know if I believe in them because I haven't seen them. And, I don't know what those little blue things are that are jumping around. How many are there?
Tink, she wants to know. She says that they are naked with big heads, long arms and legs, big hands and big feet and big eyes, blue skin and long blue hair. That sounds a lot like alien to me.
Well, it does. That sounds not of this earth. That's for
well,
sure.
Tink, I might recommend setting up a video camera or two in the room.
I would.
Or setting up,
so.
Setting up maybe voice-activated recorders.
Yes.
And if that doesn't work, dose her up with some NyQuil. Yeah, because that's...
No, video cameras definitely, and see if you can get some EVPs out of that, too.
Yeah, definitely, because that would be, something interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know if they've tried to do that yet, but that would definitely be something you'd want to look into is videotaping the room. You can put in those nanny cams, so maybe the alien fairies... I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Tink. No. It just cracks you up. Alien fairies or whatever they are that are bouncing around the room, maybe there'll be a way to physically catch it. Now, I don't know, too, if they're talking to her or anything like that. But that's weird enough. I don't know. I can't get you any more answers on that. That's a little bizarre. Now they're all taking pot shots at me in the chat room.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, that's all right. I can handle it. So, but when you're doing the investigations, we'll get back into paranormal investigating here. We got about 3, 4, 5 minutes left in the show. Do you walk into places? Now I know you said you got kind of thrown across the room once. How do you now? You protected yourself and shielded yourself.
Yeah.
How did it get through to hurt you like that?
Well, it didn't really hurt me. It just kind of shocked me. It was actually going after somebody else.
And you jumped in front and took the psychic bullet, or what?
Yeah, basically I did.
Okay.
Basically, that's what it was.
Right.
And because I felt the energy, and I knew she was more or less afraid of what was going on in the room, and so I kind of jumped in front of her, and it was like kind of fell on top of her. So we landed on a bed, so that was good.
Wow. Well, we've got time is rolling up on us here, Serenity. If people are interested in getting in touch with you to do readings or anything like that, how can they reach you? What's the best way to go about this?
They can reach me at www.sweet_SWT at MySpace, of course, myspace.com/sweet_SWT Serenity11, or at myspace.com/nightmovesparanormal.
Okay, and right now we have a link on our site, so if you go click on Serenity's face, it'll take you right to her MySpace page, so you can get in touch with her there, get readings, and do it that way. Serenity, I appreciate you spending time with us this evening, kind of showing us a little bit about into your world and the things that you've encountered. Sorry for all the strange questions, but these are questions that we've had, from many psychics that we've had on here that we were never able to get to, and I appreciate you kind of giving us a little heads up on some of the stuff that may be a little bit different about what you do.
Well, it's been great. It's been fun.
Great. Well, we'll have to have you back on the phone here when we get our phone unit working so we can take some calls and have you do a couple mini readings for people, too, on the air, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. That would be great.
Great. Well, we will look forward to doing that, and hopefully we'll see you out at a live event or two when we get out to Texas, all right?
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Serenity, and thank you all for tuning into the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. We're going to be back after the top of the hour with our next guest, Heather Woodward, and she's the founder of The Real Deal and coordinator of the 2007 South Coast Paranormal Convention, held at the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California. We're going to talk to her about her gifts and the upcoming 2007 South Coast Paranormal Convention. We're going to get the real deal information on the haunted Glen Tavern Inn. So make sure you stay with us. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you to our guest, Miss Serenity Moore. We'll be back with more right after this.